Up to 45 Palestinians were killed across the Gaza Strip today, including 14 aid seekers. Gaza City is the main target, and some buildings are still standing, but probably will be destroyed as attacks continue. It's kind of odd to see buildings still standing in Gaza at this point because there's so many buildings that have been destroyed and turned to rubble. So the ones that still are standing, they really stand out. Now, after an attack in Deir al-Balah, a woman was almost buried alive under rubble, but her head was not buried, and she was able to be rescued and survive, but ended up losing her home, or at least the place where she was living at that time. Now, she was basically buried. It's almost like, you burying somebody in the sand on the beach and they got their head sticking up. That's basically how she was looking. So she was lucky to survive that. But you just think about all the people who get buried alive and they just have to sit there and under the rubble, and it's just kind of suffocating and end up dying from lack of oxygen. Is just a rough way to go, where you just laying in the dark waiting to die. And that's just a rough thing to even think about, but that's what people are going through out there. And she was just lucky to get out of that, and I'm happy for her. But it's a lot of people who aren't so lucky. Now, at the end of last month, a group of Israeli settlers were waiting at the border of Gaza, and they were willing to move into Gaza and live in tents. This was a random group of settlers, kind of a radical group they describe them as, but I don't know what's the difference between them and other settlers who just take land in the West Bank all the time. And this may be just a sign of things to come, where you got people who are just willing to go into a place where they're currently committing a genocide and just live in tents just to take that land. And this also is a good reason why Palestinians in Gaza just aren't willing to leave and just go to other places until the genocide is over, because they know if they leave, they'll never get their land or homes back. So they just have to hang on to what they got. And I don't even see how these things are even being allowed. And I don't know if that group would be allowed into Gaza, but if they just completely annex the West Bank, then more than likely Gaza is next.